What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Golden Dunkers Live. I'm your host, Kendal Shell, along with me, former Gopher fan favorite, alumni favorite, Eric Curry. What's going on, EC?
Not much, man. Not much. Happy to be here.
Man, I already know there's a lot of fans excited to see you, talk to you. Obviously, we saw live you over the past few years, so it almost feels a little weird not having you wearing the maroon and gold right now. So I know I'm excited just to talk to you, chat it up, and see what's going on with you, man. But before we get going, let everybody kind of know, give an update. What's been going on with you. What are you doing right now, and overall, just how are you feeling mentally, physically, emotionally?
Yeah. Like you said, it's weird even for me not having that jersey on, watching those guys play now, and oh no, that's all I've known for the last 6 years. So it's definitely weird for me as well. But not much. I'm still working for the conference. Right now, it's getting a little hectic with the basketball tournaments coming up. Haven't really been able to watch many sports, but just grinding, keep my head down like I did when I was playing basketball. It's a new experience for me. Working in the other side of the sports world on the business side. So definitely just getting my feet wet and keeping my head down and learning the ropes of the other side of sports.
You couldn't get out the Big Ten. You couldn't get enough of
Yeah, I mean, you can say that, I guess.
it, huh? That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Let's dive in, man. Let's get into the storytelling. Let's get into the conversations. Let's get into the stuff that everybody wants to hear they haven't heard before, man. So let's talk a little bit about just Eric Curry and your path to the Gophers and how even you made it, into the maroon and gold. Because a lot of us saw you playing, but it's like, how did this even come to be, right? All the recruit news, it gets kind of lost. So remind us just how they even happened. Talk to us about the process, about some other schools. I know it's always that one or two coaches, right? That's like kind of your guys that really go hard for you. So, I mean, talk a little bit about that and what that path looks like.
Yeah, I love telling this story. So originally, I cut my list down to 6 schools coming out, and it was Minnesota, Iowa State, Arkansas, SMU when Coach Larry Brown was there, in Oklahoma State, I believe, and Alabama. So Minnesota was my first visit. Me and my mom scheduled this visit completely off. We were football fans. Me and my mom are huge football fans, and they were playing TCU, the number 2 team in the country, this the first game of the season. So I was like, no way, I'm going to Minnesota. Like, no way. But we're gonna use this because TCU had a quarterback at the time named Trayvon Boykin. He was a
Yeah,
he was a Heisman hopeful, whatever. So me and my mom wanted to watch him play live. So we was like, we're gonna use this visit, what I'm saying, to go watch him play. So I had a good relationship with Ben Johnson. He was always a great guy, and Patino as well. So they scheduled that visit first. We went up there, and I just loved it, man. Like, it was crazy. I was like, it was a new experience. I never been up north. So it was like, this is unbelievable. And it was a larger city. Minneapolis is a bigger city like Memphis is as well. So it gave me that home feeling. And it was 90 degrees. So I didn't know what I was getting myself into within the cold weather. But I mean, I love the guys. I mean, I knew with me and Amir, we had a relationship in high school. So I knew if I was coming, he was coming. So I knew we can turn things around. I wasn't looking forward to the season they had coming up. But I mean, it was a funny story that I really just went up there to watch a football game, and I ended up loving it.
That I feel like I talked to a lot of guys. I've talked to a lot of them. That might be top tier story, and that wasn't even like fully sold, but like the fact that like I could see y'all doing that, like, yo, let's go check him out, like let's figure it out, and especially coming from Memphis, like I'm from St. Louis, it's not the same, but it's something about Minnesota. It just seems foreign, It's like, why would I ever go there? But then when you step there, you step into Minneapolis and you around there, you're like, okay, it's a little different. It's a little different. But what was it? What was it that really drew you there? Was it the atmosphere? Was it the size, or what really surprised you?
Yeah, I would say the size and the atmosphere. Like, I mean, of course, the campus was crazy that day with fans and whatnot, and I love the love that they showed. I mean, the football team, like that got me off. Like, oh yeah, they love their sports here. They're gonna be behind the guys. They're gonna be behind us, and just the stories from the players that was already there. How, I mean, like Nate was already there for a year, so he was telling me about it and all that. And I love the support that the fans gave and the student athletes. I mean, the students gave the student athletes the support they had. So it was just amazing atmosphere for me.
No, that's what's up, man. In Memphis. So being from Memphis, like, because I played with Dre Hollins, Austin Hollins. So very close to both of them. You know, I got put on the Chings by them. There's a lot from Memphis that I got put on to by them boys, but like I know it was a little different. It was a little different making that transition for them. You know, specifically like food and some of that type of stuff. Like, what was the biggest difference coming from the Big M down there to the Big M up here?
Oh, I mean, obviously the weather, but outside of the weather,
Yeah,
uh, outside of the weather, I don't really know the difference, man. Like, I mean, I really can't name anything. I mean, I would say the food. Like, it's hard to find like good seasoned catfish and cooked fried catfish. So, I mean, that's my favorite food. So it's hard to find it
yeah.
up there, and it took me a couple years to find a good spot up there.
Where you go?
JJ's Fish and Chicken.
JJ's is the GOAT. I just didn't want to put it out there, but JJ's is hands down the best. It's better than Hooks. It's better
Yeah,
than everything else they saying.
for
Right on
sure.
the jersey. I'm glad you found that.
Yeah, for sure. But I would say that outside of the weather, definitely the food. You can find catfish on every corner down there and down south. So I
Yeah.
mean, up there it's hard to find. So
Yeah, I already know. I already know. You talked a little bit about playing with Amir, man, and you talked about just y'all coming in together. You know, talk a little bit about that relationship because, like, you two personally, you know, from my opinion, you two seemed a lot more mature than a lot of freshmen, you know, coming in. It just seemed like that. It just seemed like you guys, you know, had more of a serious, you know, mindset. Talk a little bit about that, man. Is it one of you kind of help each other grow with that, or like what was that mindset with you two coming in there? Because I think it was obviously that you guys took it seriously and you were able to make some noise.
yeah, I think so. Our relationship started off early in high school. So we both was invited to the Nike Elite Top 100 camp, which was in St. Louis. Actually, we met there,
Yeah,
and we always just, oh no, we always stayed. We was on the same team, so we all just stayed connected with each other after that. And it's funny that I joked at that camp that I joked with them like, let's go to Minnesota together, like let's do
yeah,
that. And this was like way back, I was 15, 16 years old, and it
right.
happened in reality. So, but I would say the maturity piece came from, I guess, the programs we came from in high school. I know Hopkins is a traditionally, where he come from is traditionally like, oh no, it's a powerhouse of basketball up there,
Mhm.
well coached team. And for me, coming from the coaches I played with throughout high school, both of my coaches went on to the next level and coached college basketball. So I think that maturity piece came from there. Like we played for, I don't know, highly well-known, respected coaches, high school coaches that, I don't know, they laid the foundation of what college athletics is going to be like for us. So we had an advantage of stepping into the college campus and knowing what to expect and all that.
For sure, for sure. Well, what was the biggest surprise though from college? Like, was it because I mean everybody talks about us faster, but like specifically, you know, maybe a little bit stronger. But like, what was the biggest surprise? What was the biggest adjustment? Because you were, I mean, you could play, right? You were invited to top 100 camps, you know, whatever it may be. But when you get to college, some change. Big Ten
Yeah,
basketball a little different. What was the biggest difference for you,
I
especially as
think
a kid?
I think the biggest piece that was different for me was learning that people really like scout tendencies like heavy in college.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, in high school, I played a national schedule. Like, we play other top schools in the country, but you don't do much scouting in high school. Like, you
right.
go out there on straight talent. Like, but when you get in college and you have a good game, and they're gonna know every move, they're gonna know what you like to do from top to bottom, from where you like to shoot on the court, which hand
Mhm.
you like to dribble with most. So, like, definitely my freshman year season, and I had that big game against Purdue on the road. The next following game, we played Northwestern, and I couldn't get a look. Like, I couldn't get a look at all, and I was
Yeah,
like, "What
yeah,
is going on?" Like, I had 0 points in this game. And I'm like, "Okay, this is this is wild." Like, they knew exactly what the game plan was and all that, so they shut everything down. And I think that was the biggest adjustment for me, just to work on the complete game. Like, don't just stay simple. Like, try to work on everything where they can't stop you or whatever. So that was the biggest adjustment for me.
no, that's facts. That's funny. I don't know. I feel like that's not talked about enough because, like I said, it's always the size and the
Yeah,
speed. That's the big difference. But I remember the first time I opened that first scout report, I was like, yo, like, who did all this? Like, who did all this because of the other team? Like, it's serious. Like, it's
yeah,
serious stuff. Scout team stuff. Like, scout team would have to start playing like the other guys. Like, you'd have to like
yeah,
really study other guys and play like them. It's real. It's real preparation. You see why, you know, it's a real business. You know, and
yeah.
for coaches, they take it seriously during that time.
I definitely would say the size and the speed wasn't a factor for me because of what I played in high school, like the EYBL, all that stuff. It prepared me for college. Like the EYBL is like the best of the best there is in the Nike League. So I mean, I was grinding against those guys who's I don't know probably was going to be one and dones and who they become to be one and done. So I mean, I was already prepared for the size and the speed of a college game, but definitely the preparation before leading into the college games was the most interesting thing to me.
No, yeah, that's huge, and I think that is important. Like playing at that level and playing, a schedule and competition like EYBL guys. You know what I mean? Like we see the numbers and we see how many draft picks they get. We see like the numbers don't lie. So I think that is important. I think it's important, like for when we look at like how coaches recruit and where they recruit, and when you go to EYBL games, like I covered the EYBL, like you look on the sideline, like that's the first time I didn't seen all them coaches, and like I covered it after. I was playing. Like it's crazy. I mean, you got Coach K, you got Roy Williams, you got everybody just lined up. So you see the talent level, you see the difference. Yeah, man, that makes sense. Who'd you play with in EYBL?
Arkansas Wings.
Oh, okay, okay. Who was on your squad?
Malik Monk,
I thought it was Malik Monk. So y'all played.
Hayden Willis was on my team.
Okay.
We had a couple other guys that you probably don't know, but my whole team went Division 1 though, so we was pretty okay. I would say good.
Man, now I remember the squad. I think I do remember. I remember I see y'all was playing the Eagles one time. Jay
Yeah.
Tatum.
We was so when we played, we did. We played them in Lexington, Kentucky that year. My last year, EYBL. Yep.
Yeah. That was so. I mean, we talking about the All-Star MVP from last night right now. So I don't think we got to talk about anything else on the competition you played and why you weren't prepared the way you were prepared. But let's talk a little bit, man, just about the Gophers in general. Playing for the Gophers that time, and specifically, I just want to talk about the guy that's in charge right now, man. Playing for Ben Johnson. You talked about him. He was close to recruiting you, so I'm sure you talked a lot on and off the court. Talk a little bit about playing for him, I guess, as an assistant coach, and then also playing for him as a head coach, because that's dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like who else? Not too many guys can speak to that. So just talk about playing for Ben Johnson. Both sides of it.
Yeah, playing for Ben as an assistant, like I don't even know how to explain it. Like when you're assistant coach, like you don't really have too much say so. I would say so. I mean, but like as far as like who you recruited, you always had a relationship, so you always can go to them when needed, like for anything, like to talk to, just to talk to chat it up with. So he's always been that cool, calm, cool, smooth back dude as an assistant and as a head coach. But playing for him as a head coach last year, man, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably one of the best decisions I ever did. Like he's an awesome guy, and I'm cheering for him and rooting for him that he can get this thing really rolling up there because he has a good mind. He know what he's doing. But man, he's awesome. I take pride in. And I'm very thankful for him and the staff, not just Ben, but the whole coaching staff instilling motivation back into me that I felt like I was losing with all the injuries I had and whatnot. And they came in on board first year. Those other guys didn't really know me. Coach Dorson knew a little bit about me, but Ben and those guys, man, they do a great job of coaching and motivating, and they got me on track. And I mean, I think I had a good ending to my basketball career last year with everything that I had going on. And I definitely had some moments and times of last year of some feelings that I've been wanting since I was a freshman. So
Yeah.
I'm thankful for them for that.
That's dope, man. That's dope, and that's crazy. Cause I'm assuming, right? Like you probably weren't planning on coming back to play again, right? That maybe that one in your mind.
It was a done deal. Like
It
after
was
that,
done.
after the
What
after the
happened?
COVID,
Talk me through it. Talk me
after
talk
the
me through it.
after the COVID season that Patino's last year, I was done. I was done with basketball. I went on vacation after the season was over, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm done playing basketball." I got out of shape. I wasn't exercising no more, and then I was set on just being a GA. Like I wanted to start the coaching career, my coaching craft, and Ben knew that, so he offered me a position to be a GA or not. And I don't know, as the summer kept going on, I was working out with the guys, putting them through drills and being out there on the floor with the guys. And obviously, the recruiting thing didn't work out for him, where he didn't get enough big. So he approached me and he asked me about it, which people like Peyton and the trainers, they was always some of the other, and Isaiah, they was always messing with me like, bro, you might as well just give us another year. Like, why you won't play another year? And it was always just going through my head and going and just bickering back and forth every day of me playing or whatnot. And I really just sat down with strength coach Steve Feldy and Ryan, the physical athletic trainer, and just really, is it possible? Is it actually realistic for me to, y'all can get me right and back into playing shape and whatnot? And they gave me a plan. Ben gave me 2 weeks to go through the thing and try to see, can I give it another go? And after the 2 weeks is over, my body felt good after everything they was putting me through, and I was like, let's give it a shot.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. What? Damn, that's what's up, man. I mentally like you really gotta fight through it to get through that. But that's what's up. I want, before we move on from Ben Johnson, you said that he's an awesome guy, he's an awesome coach. One, I want to talk about what makes him, that type of coach for you, right? I know why I appreciate him. He was an assistant for us with Patino, but you saw him as a head coach, so another level. I want to talk, one, what made him a coach like that, and then two, talk about last season. I just need to hear it, because you probably know, like, there was some surprise in how well y'all were able to do. You know what I mean? Like, this is year one. Ben got it out of nowhere. Like, I'm truly interested to hear, what was that mindset in the locker room? How did Ben even approach y'all? And how did y'all get, such a confident mindset when it was literally like, bro, he talked you into not being a GA. Well, like, what happened? How did this even get to where it was?
I tell this story too all the time. So my time period of being a GA, and I used to have to sit in the room with the coaches when they doing their recruiting board or whatnot. And they were talking to this certain recruit that was in the room at the time, and I was just sitting back listening. And I walked out of that meeting and went and told other people, like, he almost just made me commit again to University of Minnesota the pitch. But he's relatable, man. Like, he's young, he's on the younger side. Like, Ben knows what it is, like, what he knows what playing at University of Minnesota is all about. Like, he knows the ins and outs of college athletics. He's very relatable. And last year, with us being so old and all of us being on the upper scale of we experienced, he just let us be us. Like, he let us lead. He let us have a lot to say, because we out there on the floor. Like, so and like I told you, with the motivation piece, like, all those guys came from lower major divisions. So, like, he instilled, like, you are here for a reason. Like, go out here and play basketball. Basketball is basketball. And I would say, like, he let me, like, guys like me and Peyton lead. Like, we played in the Big Ten before. He let our experience speak for itself with those guys, and he let us have a lot to say. And I think that's what really helped us.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, y'all I think that experience, that's something, that I do forget. Like, there was some experience from other places, but for y'all to not have, any type of egos either, though, and just go out there and hoop, I think that's unbelievable. And like what you said about Ben, man, like, he's a player's coach. That's what it sounds like. He's a real player's coach. Like, he's one that can really relate. And it's hard. I'm not saying that just because you didn't play basketball, you can't coach. But I will say that it's a lot easier to understand and to relate to a coach that did play it. You knew that they were in your shoes.
For sure. I definitely would say the ego piece as well. Like, he wouldn't have got a lot of guys last year that felt like they had something to prove on a higher level. Like, for me, like, I know I played on a higher level before, but I was coming off injuries. I wanted to show people that I still had it, a little bit of what I had before. Peyton Willis, I mean, he played before under Patino, but then he went to a lower major, then he came back. But he wanted to show that he can lead a team and be a point guard. EJ, he wanted to show that he can do this on a higher level. Luke, he can show that he wanted to do it out. He got a lot of people that wanted to prove themselves in it. I think that's what drove us too. Just that, from that standpoint of everybody had a chip on their shoulder and really wanted to come out and show people that we belong here too. So,
yeah, that makes sense. You led kind of into that next topic, man. You talked about the injuries, and we got to talk through it, right? We got to talk through that. I want to hear from you. I know I think when you came back, or I don't know, I was putting up tweets out there. I was just like, yo, like, this dude, like, mentally, like, bro, he gotta be strong as hell. Like, I legit, like, that's what I was saying. I said it all the time. I was telling everybody, right? Like, podcast, local, GoPro, wherever it may be. It was just like, I've never seen anything like this. Like, his mindset is there, and I know that that's only what I saw, and that's only what we saw. I know it was tough. I know it was hard. You know what I mean? So talk through like all of it for me, man. Like as much as you can. Like talk through them dark times. Like what was going on through that first injury, through that second injury, and then talk through like what got you over the hump. Like I know you talked a little bit about the coaching staff, but like who really was it that really got you over it all?
Yeah. So that first injury, I tore my ACL, MCL, and meniscus in my left knee. That was just super tough. Like I've never experienced an injury where I have to miss 9 months, 9 to 12 months of basketball. So it was mentally draining for me. But I would say like my friends, man, my friends that I met throughout school there, and my mom, like man, she's the biggest supporter of me ever, and like she always kept a smile on my face, always kept my head motivated because everything I do was for her and my little sister. So when I had that first injury, my mind instantly went to, dang, like I let her down, like.
Yeah.
So when I called, gave her the phone call, she was like, "Man, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna bounce back from this, like we do everything else." So I mean, just having that mentality and that backbone behind you, supporting you like that, definitely pushes you forward. And then having my teammates that I had the time and friends there on campus, even those like some football guys or people that I met along the way there, they always still believed in me too. Like they always was checking up on me. They always was still around. They had me around. They knew, I don't know, they just kept me looking ahead. So but that definitely was the tougher one on me mentally because like I said, I never experienced anything like it. When I got into the second one, I had like a different mentality, like a beast mode mentality, where it's like the day after the surgery, I only tore my ACL the second time, and the day after that surgery, I told my trainer at the time, Ben Fells, let's get to work. Like I already knew the ins and outs of everything from by the third month, I know I'm supposed to be doing this. So I wanted to get on and get it rolling immediately. And I knew the pains that was gonna come with it. So none of that phased me anymore. But yeah, after that first one, man, but I definitely had to talk to therapists, had to do all of that to get my mind right and I don't know, just keep me positive and uplifted. But that second one though, the second one had a little bit more phase on me, but because I always told myself after if I tore it again, I was gonna be done playing basketball.
Yeah.
But Amir's dad, Richard Coffey, he my mom knew that what I just told you about me being done playing basketball. So she gave him a call, and he came into my dorm room at the time when I was staying with Amir, and he basically just sat on the edge of my bed, man, and gave me some powerful words that told me to basically don't quit. Like I'm not done. My purpose is not done. So he's one of the reasons as well to help me play after coming back to the second year as well. So. But definitely, I had a lot of help, man. I give it to all those people to keep me straightforward and keep my mental where it is now. I give the credit to all my friends, my mom, and the coaching staff, and just the staff in general, and people around campus. Like people still gave me love, even the fans. Like they still believed in me when they had no reason to. Like so, man, I'm thankful for it all, and I give the credit to everyone else when it comes to my mental. So yeah.
No, for sure. I mean, I think it take a village. Is what it sound like. I mean, that's what it was, and you fought through it. But yeah, that second one, that was gonna be my next question. Like, how hard was it for you, or was it when Richard Coffey talked to you, like to be like, all right, I'm gonna get through it. But like, how hard was it for you to like be like, all right, the second one, I'm gonna make it happen?
It was super tough, but um, like people always ask me like, "You gonna be okay?" Like after the news broke, coaches was calling me, teammates was calling me, and I always had a smile on my face, man. Like I always tell people, like keep a smile on your face, bro, because it's gonna be okay. Like I always smile through it, and you if you can flip that little switch in your mind to always think positive, things gonna happen. Like you worried about the negative, it's not gonna get you nowhere ever in life. Just gonna have you stay in one spot. But I mean, it was super tough, man. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know what it was during the time, but I was like, I got to do it. I mean, of course, my mom and my motivation was always my motivation, and I knew coming back to I had my best friend came back, Peyton Willis. He was up there, so I wanted to give him a chance, not knowing he was going to leave the next year, but I wanted to play with him as well. And I just never wanted to go out like that. If that makes sense. Like I couldn't leave it like that. So I think that was another thing, self motivating thing for me as well.
No, 100%. Like Nipsey also always say, 10 toes down. Like you gotta go out fighting, right? You
Yeah.
can't go out sitting down. So that makes sense, man. All I know is that's a lot. That's a lot to get through. I don't know. I feel like I had never seen anything. I've seen a lot in sports, but this probably one of the most inspiring stories was yours. To keep it 100 with you, like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like seeing your positivity after that second one is like if I'm a coach forever and ever again, and a player ever gets injured, like look at Eric Curry and look at what he did, because it's like that was. I mean, it was inspiring. You were positive. I think that's why the fans wanted to rally behind you so much, because it's like we saw you weren't down, so why would we be down about it?
Yeah.
And when you were on the court, you gave so much. I mean, you came out the gate freshman year like you were getting to it. You were getting to it. So it was, I don't know, man. It was inspiring. I know as an alumni, it's like your story is just it's remarkable. I've been around a lot of dudes that has to go through, not just two injuries, but one. And so for you to go through two of them is crazy. And I'm just it's inspiring. That's all I'm gonna say. It's inspiring. I'm gonna leave it at that. No, for real, it's important. It's important to go through that, and hopefully, like I said, other guys have to go through that. They can look to your story. And speaking of that, this current Gopher squad, we have a few guys that are going through similar situations, right? We have Parker, we have Isaiah, that are going through it. I mean, has there been any conversations you've been able to have with them about it? Or is there, anything and thoughts, you kind of have just to throw out there for them? As I know, like it's literally when I saw like Parker's, like for instance, when I saw he like got hurt again, I'm like instantly went back to you, like bro, like man, I hope these young boys get through it, right? Because like I know it's a lot. It's a lot in college. So much stuff happening. And as we keep going year after year, it's even more pressure, right? Like y'all face more pressure than we did. These guys face more pressure than y'all did when it comes to NIL and social and all that stuff. So have you ever been able to talk to Parker and Isaiah about it? And then, what are your kind of general advice for both of them?
Yeah, it's crazy that you brought those both up. But when both of their second injuries happened, I'm the first person I would say they probably called. The news hadn't broke. I think Parker was in one of the training rooms. He called me like, "Yo, like I just tore it again. Like I know I tore it. Like so."
Yeah.
Being on the phone with those guys in those moments, and I know how those moments feel. Like I mean, like I told you, like I don't like the crying. Like smile, man. Like we're gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. Like yeah, your time ain't right now, but the fun is gonna be here. And when the fun here, your smile is gonna be bigger than ever, and it's gonna feel so much better because of what you had to go through to get it. So I would just tell those guys and like just be positive. I know it's tough when you're dealing with situations like this, but when you can flip, even like thinking of the little things that you got going on in your life that's positive, it's gonna help you uh, just keep striving and keep elevating, and it's not gonna hold you in a place of negativity when you just always like, damn, I'm hurt or I'm feeling this way. Like, what that's gonna do for you? It's nothing ever happens comes positive from a negative. So, I mean, I just tell them keep their head down, keep working. The fun is gonna get there soon, and man, when that moment comes, I promise you that it's not gonna be a better feeling than this moment. So I talk to those guys all the time though. I always reach out. I just reached out to both of them probably like 3 days ago to check up on them and see how their recovery is going and all that. But like yeah, I have a really good close relationship with those two guys just from their first injuries. But I'm always keeping in touch with those two guys.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. That's good to hear. That's like I couldn't have like I wouldn't want to script an answer like that, but I couldn't have scripted a better answer because it's like I would want them to call you as soon as something like that happens. You've been there, and they won't be the last ones, right? Each one teach one, and they'll be in that position where they can share the same thing. And as a college kid, where just mentally you're not that fully developed anyway, and two, going through something like that, it's hard to think clearly. And so for you to be able to, essentially tell them it's a beauty and a struggle, like that's real. And I think, yeah, man, I see positivity over there from them too, and I think that's got to be a direct correlation to some of those things that you were able to share with them. But I'm excited about them coming back. I'm excited about this squad, and I think you put it in a good way. Like when they're back, I can't imagine like how much they will be smiling, right? Like when Parker gets that first big dunk in Williams, it's gonna go crazy.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I always tell even my guys that's like they play football on the team and they had significant injuries. I always tell them, man, like when you run out their tunnel or when we running up them stairs, I promise you, man, your smile is gonna be from ear to ear, and nothing's gonna feel better in the world than that moment right there, knowing that I'm back and I'm healthy and I'm able to play the sport that I always loved.
No, 100%, 100%. Well, I mean, let's keep it in Williams Arena. Last few things here. I want you to talk just through playing there and that smile and that experience. You were just talking to it a little bit, but talk a little bit about playing in the barn. I was just talking to some guys recently, some opposing players, and it's just funny because I feel like as gophers, I don't think we realize how hard it is, I guess, to play there. And other players be like, "Yo, it's tough to play there." And so I just want you to, but like when it does, like when it get loud in there, it be rocking. So
It's super loud.
about playing there, honestly, maybe that first shock, because I was a little shocked when I walked into the arena for the first time and saw the court and saw what was going on. So just talk a little bit about playing there, man, playing in the barn.
Yeah, I always knew about the elevated court, but I've never played on one. So that was a big thing for me. But I kind of like it because of it's the stage atmosphere. It's like we on the stage, so like the entertainment piece comes with that. But yeah, it gets really loud in there. From my first welcoming like to Williams Arena, like this is the Born was I would say, who did we play? I think Michigan State, my first Big Ten game was at home at Williams, and it was packed out, sold out. And I was like, wow, like this is crazy. Like this is super crazy. But I mean, I can understand that it is hard to like play there. Like during my time there, like it was hard to beat us at home, like throughout my whole 6 years there. Like, so I mean, I understand it. Like people coming there and they get their tails whooped. So so I understand it. But yeah, it's definitely I don't I don't really think it's that much difference playing on the elevated surface, but I mean, I guess it is for other people.
Exactly. Everybody's like, yeah, it might fall off. I'm like, bro, I think man fell off like once and it wasn't even a fall. It was like just kind of overran. No, it's fine. But that stage atmosphere is dope though. I think people take that for granted. Like when you step up, and you up on there, like whether it's, getting called up for, intros for starting five or just subbing into the game, you like, all right, it's time. You know what I mean? Like everybody see you too. Like everybody see like, oh yeah, he coming in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that definitely was like some of the biggest moments. Just checking in, having to step up or jump up, get up there and run into the scores table to jump in. And I don't know, the fans are great, man. Like for a while. I mean, now I know St. Thomas is Division 1, but we was the only Division 1 school in in Minnesota. So yeah, I mean, the support is insane. So when you got it going, they're gonna be there supporting and rooting the loudest they can. So it's definitely a great feeling to hear. I don't know, to get it so loud where I can't hear my teammates across the floor.
No facts. You talk about getting loud, biggest supporters. So yeah, I was going to talk about that and talk about some of the biggest supporters. So you, like myself, and like probably 99.8% of Division 1 college men's basketball players are mama's boys. And so I just want to talk a little bit about your biggest supporter, man, because I mean, from my side, is my biggest supporter as well too. And like when you think through stuff, like that is who you play for, right? Like when I came in as a preferred walk-on, and I ended up getting a scholarship. And the first person I called was my mom. You know what I mean? Like it's just that's who you play for. A lot of times stuff get tough. So just talk a little bit about y'all's relationship, man, because I think as a Gopher fan, a lot of us knew that you guys were close. She was super supportive and she was around a lot, right? Which was dope. But just talk a little bit about the why, right? Like how did you guys become so close? And the reason why they are your why, your sister and your mom.
Yeah. So it's always been just me and my mom for the longest time, and then I don't know, 12 years go by, and then she wants to decide to have another child. And my little sister came about, but like I don't know, during that whole phase, I was the only child, man. It just grew into like a best friend relationship. My mom had me at an early age at 18 years old, so I mean, she was still graduating high school at the time she had me, so she was still young. So having a kid, I mean, I was like one of her best friends, man. So I mean, that relationship just stemmed from right there, and it grew. I mean, after my sister was born, I love her to death. But after she was born, I mean, it still stayed. My mom loves her children equally, and the support is always there, man. She has our back no matter what, and I just try to repay her for that. Like she sees everything. I always want to put a smile on her face. I always want the best for her, and try to do the best for her because I feel like I represent her. So I try to give it my all, and knowing that like I'm representing a Drill Phipps, and putting it on my back.
No, that's real. That's real, and it's honorable, and you can see it, man, because you go hard for her. You can see the support from her side. when you talk about y'all being close growing up, like when it came to basketball, right? Like, how was she? Like, how was she kind of there? Like, was she always supporting? Was she always in the gym and a big fan as she was now? Or like, how did her game, and her love for the game grow alongside of yours?
So the crazy part about it, she doesn't really like basketball. She's a football woman. Like, she loves football. She loves the Dallas Cowboys. Like, that's what she grew up on. That's what she always, I don't know, rooted for and cheered for. So she didn't even want me to play basketball. She
Right.
wanted me to, because I played football up until ninth grade, and I decided to just stick to one sport and lean towards basketball. And she always gives me stuff about it, like, why you didn't continue playing football? Like, but I mean, she loved it as I loved it. So she started supporting me as I took it serious, as I got serious about it. So yeah, she was at every game, man, or tried to be at every game that she could when she wasn't working or whenever we was in town. But she's traveled as well. Like those EYBL sessions, man, she was at some of them. So Peace Jam, she was always at Peace Jams. So man, she's the biggest supporter, man. She loved it, that what I was doing, what I love. So she was always behind me and pushing me forward. And yeah, she was tough. I remember a couple games I got to arguing with her in the crowd because she just telling me like I had a couple bad games and she was like, oh, are you scared of him? Like, you playing soft. Like, what do you do? You scared of this guy? Like, what are you doing? Like, so we had a lot of back and forth, man. But I love her for like she's very passionate, like I'm passionate about it. So I don't know. She feels like she's supposed to be out there playing with me, and so she's on my tail as much like she's one of my teammates as well. So
No, that's funny. I feel like, yeah, the moms that keep it real. You know what I mean? They'll keep it real with you, like for real. And then you like it's almost like her passion is kind of like is pushed through you on the court, right? A lot of your passion probably just comes from her and seeing like how passionate she is about it. She's not even the one playing out there.
yeah, for sure. And definitely, like I know whenever she's watching a game, she likes to brag. So I just try to give her something to brag about, or give her one thing to brag about to the rest of the family members who probably couldn't catch the game, or her work friends, or anybody. She always she posts a lot. So
Yeah.
give her some type of clip, or I don't know, some moment to post about, or give her something to brag about, man, because I know she wants to brag all the time.
Yeah, no, for sure. Man, I don't want to keep you too much longer, man. But I know we touched a little bit earlier about how things are going now, what you're up to. But talk a little bit about just that transition, and working in the Big Ten now, and then kind of what you're looking to do after, just so the boosters and everybody kind of know what's on the plans for you, what's on the docket, and kind of what your end goals are.
Yeah, so I'm in the event the department I am within the conference, is the events and operations department. Basically, I strategically plan and coordinate all the championship events for the conference. That's football, champ game, basketball tournaments, women's and men's, media day, basketball media days, and football media days for the conference. So that's basically, I'm just trying to help ways and have a young mindset and a fresh mindset of coming out of those situations, of trying to enhance the conference's ideas around these championship events. So that's a lot of planning and prep work, man. But I'm loving it so far. The connections and Commissioner Warren that he's put me in rooms with people so far have been amazing. I'm forever grateful for him and his time being here at the conference with us. And my future holds. I don't think this is what my end goal wants. I think I want to get back into the basketball world eventually. And either that's, I don't know. I mean, who knows right now, man? I'm loving the fellowship that I'm doing right now, but I definitely can see myself coaching or getting back into the administration side of basketball one day. But right now I'm loving my job, and Chicago's treating me well. The Big Ten office is treating me well. So it's going good, man. It's going good.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, Big Ten through and through. But yeah, we might have to see Coach Curry on the sideline over here one day soon.
Yeah, for sure. I ran into someone recently, and he was like asking me what I was doing or whatnot. And I told him what I was doing now. And he was like, "Yeah, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You basically." He was telling me like, you should be a coach, man. All the stories I've heard you about of helping others on and off the floor, like you supposed to be a coach. And I don't think so. He was basically like on me hard, like, "What are you doing? Like
No,
you're doing the wrong thing, man. You need to be a coach. So go do that." So, but
I hear him for sure. I definitely think coaching is one of those things where it definitely don't have to be the only thing you do in your life. And I think 100% in one bulk of your life should be coaching, though. You know what I mean? Like, but I think doing what you're doing now, and if it's front office after and then coaching, so be it. Over is this coaching, front office, whatever it may be. But I do agree with whoever, unnamed person number one was, just from, I mean, seeing what you did, leading by example, one, and then two, hearing how you're able to speak life into those that are in their darkest times, like, and you get the game, you can hoop. Let's not forget that part of it. 100% you should be a coach at some point doing something. But I think, you can impact guys without having to be a coach in your title as well. You can be around the game, you can be close to the game. There's a lot of new positions out there. There's training opportunities, mentorship opportunities, whatever it may be. But yeah, you're 100% are meant to, be able to speak life into people, especially young people.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, boss. Well, no, I appreciate your time today, man. I think we covered some dope stuff. It was an honor to chat. It was an honor to hear some of these stories. I think as we progress, as this season ends, we kind of look to keep seeing, what Coach Johnson's able to build. We're gonna have to stay close and keep the conversation going and get you back on here because I 100% agree. I believe in what Coach Johnson is doing, and I think us as an alumni, base, we need to continue to support. We need to come together. We need to stay connected. And at the end of the day, Coach Johnson is different from any coach that could have been coaching here because he actually wore the McGrim and gold like we did. And so I think we just all gotta stay together, man. We gotta stay close. We gotta stay connected. We gotta keep pushing it. We gotta keep believing because at the end of the day, we don't want to have, all these different coaches and all these different regimes coming through. We want to have, one family, one concise unit so we can go out to the market just like Duke does with the Brotherhood and all these other partners. You know what I mean? Like that's what we want to do. So people like you staying close and others staying close and speaking positivity, I think is really important.
No, for sure. Most definitely, man. Thanks for having me, man. This was a great conversation. I like sharing those stories that nobody really knows, and it's always funny when I'm telling my closest friends these stories. So I'm definitely glad I got the chance to kind of tell to the outside people that
Yeah,
what these
man.
stories were.
No, 100%. I think it's great. I feel like it's probably some more you got up your sleeve, but I feel like these are enough. Like I'm still thinking back on some of just some of the stuff you said. And yeah, we definitely want to relook at it. But I'm glad you jumped on, man. Excited. Maybe we might have to get your moms on with you next time we talk through some of these stories. You got me remembering about the story. First story of the day was the recruitment story. If y'all just jumped on now, y'all in for one on how he chose to go to the University of Minnesota. That one's still hilarious to me. But all right, Eric, appreciate you today. Gopher fans, thank you for listening for another episode of Golden Dunkers Live. I'm Kendal Shell. This is Eric Curry. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yes, sir.